There's a situation going on in Hong Kong. It's considered one country, two systems. Hong Kong has its own government, and then, of course, China has its own government. We all know what China is all about. They're up, they're communists, they spy on their population, and random people disappear if they don't like them. That's just how it is, okay? Everything is state-run. Hong Kong, however, has more free speech. It's very much a more free society. Then what happened recently was China introduced legislation stating that if China brought this person up on charges, that person could be extradited from Hong Kong to mainland China. The problem with that is if you get extradited to mainland China and you're not an American citizen, you're probably never going to be seen again because it's such a corrupt system. They will grab you from Hong Kong. Hong Kong will hand you over because of the legislation. You'll go back to China, and then you disappear. You're gone. The thing is they can make up charges. That's the issue. That's the worry, that they can just make it up. They say, hey, Hong Kong, we want this person who could be a political activist or say something about the president or whatever, and then boom, they grab them and they disappear. So what happened after that was massive protests in the millions, blocking the airports, the streets, rioting. It is bad to the point where the Chinese government is basically armying up right on the border of Hong Kong. The reason I talk about this and I mention this because it's such a sensitive issue is because I have this podcast because I have one thing going for me. I have the freedom to say basically whatever I want and try out new ideas and topics and concepts however I please. And somebody has the right to come in here and debate me or discuss with me or help me grow on that topic. It's scary because I have this power and this ability to broadcast to the world my thoughts and feelings on subjects. This is something where if this were to happen here, this whole podcast world, there's hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there. Anybody has that opportunity to grow an audience or do an open mic and become a comedian, because I think like a comedian. I try out these new ideas and these new concepts all the time. And it scares me to know that these people in Hong Kong, their lives are at stake, whether they did something about it or didn't do something about it. So as a free speech practitioner, I have to say that I don't approve of this whole extradition policy. And because of the protests, they suspended the vote on this. But it didn't stop there, and these people are going insane. Blocking traffic is an understatement. You have to go and check out the videos and stuff like that that's coming from Hong Kong. It's crazy. Hong Kong did nothing. This bill would get passed, and this extradition policy would be enacted. Therefore, if you opposed anything that the president said, there could be severe consequences for you. Here's the other side of it. If you did do something about it, and the Chinese government decided to act on you, or the police decide to act on you, it can cost you your job, or it could cost you your life. Because people are worried that this could turn into another Tiananmen Square. You can look it up. Tiananmen Square, you can see the classic photo of the guy standing in front of a legion of tanks as they're coming through, and he just doesn't move. He won't allow the tanks to pass. The idea that you're screwed, as Jordan Peterson says, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're screwed either way. You either do nothing and let this evil communist bullshit take over, or you put everything on the line. You sacrifice your life so that this type of corruption and policy doesn't ruin your basically free society, something that I take advantage every single day. I say to you, the people of Hong Kong that are currently bunkered down, doing whatever you can to make sure that the world knows what's happening. If it's fight or flight, and that's what you guys are facing right now, fight or flight, I say to you, fight. If it has to do with the very first amendment that we have in our Constitution here in the United States, you fight to the bitter end. You do whatever it takes to make sure that Hong Kong stays free. And make an example for the rest of the world of what happens when one person who seemingly has no voice teams together with other people to have millions of voices. People who seemingly maybe don't have any strength come together and have the power of the sword to stand up against a scary, scary government. A government that wants to take one of the most essential human rights away from something that we have on a daily basis. Fight on. Do whatever you can. You have my appreciation. You have my support. I hope that it sets an example in the long term for knowing what it's like to be free. I hope it doesn't escalate to the point where I personally think it's going to go to. I've seen the footage. Philip DeFranco's done an excellent job in reporting on it. And I hope that the people of Hong Kong prevail and still maintain to the end of the world a free and prosperous society. If you do get this message, even though the Chinese government filters and blocks out a lot of American content, if you do get this message, my hopes and dreams and appreciation for what you're doing is with you. And if there is something I can do in any way as a small podcaster here who has a small audience but with large dreams, if there is something I can do, or if this message gets to you, my appreciation is with you for what you're doing. And I wish you all the best, because we have thoughts and opinions here. Some I agree with and some I don't, but we can still put them out there. And that's the difference. We are allowed to put them out there and not have serious consequences because of them. Your consequences could mean your life over there. And if you have any questions, if you can contact me, please can. So to the people of Hong Kong, thank you for setting an excellent example. Good luck.